my name is Leonard Aragon, and I'll be doing my presentation on President James Polk. So James Knox Polk was born in North Carolina in November 2nd, 1795, and he died on June 15th in 1849 in Tennessee. Now, due to him being a very sick child, since his family relocated to Tennessee, he was educated at home with the best tutors. And due to this, he managed to obtain the best education and graduated with honors from the University of North Carolina. And after this, he studied law and managed to pass his state bar exam, while at the same time he obtained a position as clerk of the state senate in Tennessee. And this proved to be a very vital step towards his political career. That, as well as marrying Sarah Childress, which was a very well-educated woman from a very wealthy family, and she was beneficial to his political campaign since she was the one in charge of the social events. Now, in politics, he became a representative of Tennessee in 1825, and during this time, he had a strong admiration for the then President Andrew Jackson. And due to this, he earned the nickname Young Hickory, since Andrew Jackson's nickname was Old Hickory. Then due to this relationship, he also managed to get the position as Speaker of the House from 1835 through 1839. And he also, in 1844, he set his eyes on becoming vice president. However, in a plot twist, he managed to get more votes that counted towards him as president, and therefore in 1845 he became the 11th president of the United States. And as president of the United States, he had a strong belief in manifest destiny. And manifest destiny was a belief that white Americans were above all, and that they were destined by God to expand as much as they wanted to. And this could be very much associated with this picture. He also managed to obtain Oregon from the British with a peaceful treaty. And however, he was also a very controversial president, since his father, Samuel Polk, owned more than 50 slaves, and he himself continued this tradition even through his presidency, when he separated enslaved children from their families, and he also secretly purchased slaves while being president as well. Another controversy was the Mexican-American War and how involved he became in it. Now, due to the belief of manifest destiny, Polk had a very strong hunger for land, and he not only sought to annex Texas, but he also sought to claim California and New Mexico as well. Therefore, he sent in John Slidell to propose to Mexico to sell California and New Mexico over to the U.S. for $30 million. However, Mexico denied this offer, and that's when Polk decided to go to the prospect of war with Mexico. However, he needed a pretext, and he saw that pretext in the dispute over the border between Texas and Mexico. And due to that, he sent General Zachary Taylor over to the disputed territory, knowing that Mexico would fire back at his army, and that's exactly what happened. And due to this, he had a pretext to go to war with Mexico, and and Congress approved of the war. However, at the same time, there was a lot of skepticism towards Polk's legitimacy over his claim that Mexico had fired upon the General Zachary Taylor and his troops in Mexican and U.S. soil. However, the war went on, and the generals managed to get into parts of Mexico, and once they seized Mexico City, the president of Mexico at the time, Santa Anna, had no other option but to sign the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, which seized more than 50% of territory from Mexico over to the U.S., and Mexico suffered nearly 50,000 casualties from this event. Now, the importance to Mexican-American history is that due to Polk's perspective over the Mexican-American War, there was plenty of anti-Mexican sentiment for the Mexicans that remained in what was now U.S. soil. And this also goes to show how unjustly the war was, and it proves just how strong that sentiment is of the border didn't cross us, but we didn't cross the border crossed us, because it goes to show how unjustly this war was fought just for the belief of manifest destiny. And these are all my works I did. Thank you.